I remember just getting rocked, seeing stars, and I just felt like warm, ripped my eyebrow, and a bunch of blood just coming out. Getting punched in the face sucks. I'm talking about like straight up getting rocked in the face. The average person can live their entire life without really knowing how it feels like to get punched in the face. And I think we should change that. I'm just kidding. I do not condone violence at all. It's always better to just walk away, use your words, try to de-escalate the situation, tell an adult or call the cops, and just try to be like 10 steps ahead of the situation before it even gets to that point. It should be one of your last resorts, but I mean, don't ever count it out as an option because sometimes you got to defend yourself, you know? With that being said, here's some stories of when I got punched. I originally thought about like having these like fight stories as each one as an individual video, but I don't really want to have a bunch of videos about like fighting and stuff, you know, that I don't want to promote violence in any shape or form. I'll probably leave out a lot of the little details. I don't want to make this video super long. All right, first story. I guess we'll call this one the snowball fight. So this is probably, I'm gonna start from like the youngest to oldest. So this one, I had to have been like at least 4 or 5. I don't know if I even went to school at the time. I feel like I was just like chilling at home. All I remember is it was in the winter time and I was hanging out with one of my neighborhood friends. And he was like way older than me. He was probably like, I could think like 4 years older than me. It was during the winter time, so there was like a bunch of snow everywhere. And I think we were just like playing outside in the snow. And then there was these other neighbor kids. I don't know who started it, but somebody threw snow on the other side because I think there were some kids there playing. There was like 2 other kids and I think they were around the same age. So then they threw snow on our side, then we started throwing snow on their side, and we are just kind of like playfully, but then I think it like escalated to kind of people were starting getting mad. I think probably we started swearing at each other or something. The point is we just started getting super mad at each other. And then my neighbor at the time, my friend, he started like talking all this trash, and then eventually like I don't know how it got to it, but it was like, yo, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna beat your ass, this and that, or I'm gonna fight you, this and that. And then okay, well, come on over here. So then me and him went on that other side to go see the other neighborhood kids. They're like the same age, and we're just like yelling at each other. And then my neighbor was like, well, so and so Abraham can go whatever, do this, he'll fight your little brother or something like that. I don't know how it happened, but they basically just threw me and the other little kid to just fight each other. So then we just started fighting. We started wrestling and like fighting, and next thing I know, I'm just like on my back and this kid's like on top of me, and he's just and I'm just like staring, looking up to him, and I'm just like I'm just getting like, you know, beat up. I remember thinking to myself, I had no idea what was going on. It's the first fight ever. Little ass kid, and I'm just like getting beat, and I'm like, I think I'm getting my ass beat right now. And then I'm like, oh crap, this is happening. So I like went on the side and I grabbed some snow and I smacked it in his face, and then I guess it got in his eyes, because then he started crying and he was like, you know, and just like crying on the floor. And then I got up and I was like, okay, like, all right, now I got my footing now, like, you know. But then as soon as the kid started crying, the older brother was like, no, stop. And I was like, oh, come on. Like, as soon as I get the advantage, like, hey, there's no rules. So he started crying, and then they were like, oh, we got to go inside. And then they're like, whatever. And then we just like left, or me and my neighbor friend walked back to our yard and acted like as if nothing even happened. I don't remember crying or anything about it. I was just like, oh, damn, that happened. But yeah, that was probably like the very first time. Yeah, that was the snowball fight. And then fast forward, probably I would say 3rd grade. This was like elementary school. We'll call this story birthday punches or birthday licks. I don't know how you guys would call it. I think we would call it licks. I don't know why.
No, please wait.
This took place in elementary school. I was like in 3rd grade. I don't know how it worked with the other kids, but at least in our school, if it was your birthday, let's say you turned 8 years old, people would say, oh, well, we got to get you your birthday punches or your birthday licks. And if you turned 8 years old, then, you know, they'd punch you in the arm or wherever like 8 times. Just those stupid rules. Kind of like how when you would go to school and you'd have like a fresh haircut, and then people would be like, fresh cut, and they just smack the shit out of the back of your head. Am I the only one that experienced that kind of stuff? I don't know. People would do that all the time. So the point is, there were a bunch of other kids were kind of like doing that to some other kid. I don't want to use his name. I'll just call him Billy. So they were doing a bunch of stuff to Billy. It was like, oh, it's Billy's birthday and let's go hit him. They would like hit him every now and then, this and that. And it was like in the morning. And then I overheard, I don't think I was, maybe I would have partook or something, but I mean, I knew him. So I just went up to him and I was like, oh, it's your birthday? And I think at this point, he was just upset that people were like kind of picking on him. As soon as I was like, oh, it's your birthday, or whose birthday is it? Is yours? He just turned around and he just, boom, like, pow, right in my gut. He probably thought that I was gonna be like, oh, it's your birthday, okay, time to hit you, right? Which I don't remember if I was or wasn't. He was older than me. I think he was like a year older or 2 years. But the point is, I just asked, and they're like, hey, whose birthday is it? And just bam, right in my gut, and just got the air knocked clean right out of me. And I remember I fell to the ground. I was just like, duh, right? So one of my friends, I don't know who, was like, hey, dude, you okay? And I was like, go tell a teacher, go call somebody, somebody help me. They told on him, and they took us to the principal's office or whatever. And I remember sitting there, and I couldn't breathe, and I was just like like that. And then they're like, what happened? I was like, he hit me, and he hit me in the stomach, and like I couldn't talk. And I think he got kind of in trouble or whatever, and that was it. And I felt really embarrassed because I couldn't like talk, but like I still kind of knew him. And like, I mean, feel like as a kid you go through that kind of stuff and you just kind of get over it, or at least I did. And then like we were still friends like afterwards. As we got older, I still knew him and stuff, so it was so if you're watching this, don't feel bad, I probably deserved it. But yeah, it's whatever, it's little kid stuff, it don't matter. But yeah, that was the birthday punch. This other story is also happened in 3rd grade and in the same homeroom. So whoever my homeroom teacher was didn't really do a good job of taking care of us, because I'll be going in there every day getting my ass beat. We'll call this one the blue carpet.
Punch yourself in the face. Doesn't that hurt you?
Do you want it to hurt me, Kevin?
In every homeroom there was like a main rug that we had, where all the kids would go there to either when the teacher would read a book, or when they would have some certain lessons, or just sit down and talk. I guess during every like indoor recess, all the like the bigger kids would just get in the ring, or get in the blue carpet. They would just like wrestle and like fight each other. I don't know how we would get away with this. The point is, all the kids are all fighting and wrestling and hitting each other, and I don't know why my dumb ass wanted to go in there. And so I was like, okay, so I went in there to like fight and tussle or whatever. And then so I guess I was just running around. But also thinking back, I don't even know if I did do that. Maybe I was just running around and I just so happened to go in there. I don't remember. The point is, I was running, and this other kid, a 5th grader, he and you know who you are. This kid just sticks his arm out and just freaking clotheslines the crap out of me. Is that what it's called? I'm not sure, but he basically just sticks his arm out, and I just boom right in the face. I get smacked super hard, and I fall flat on my back, and I was just like, ow. And I just remember getting up, and I was like, damn, that like really hurt. And so I just went to go sit down, because I was like, well, I'm gonna go sit down, I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna get away from the blue carpet, I'm gonna go sit down. So I just want to go sit down, and that same kid, he goes up to me, and he's like getting in my face, and he was like, what are you gonna do, huh? What are you gonna do? You gonna cry? What are you gonna do? And I'm like, nothing, I'm just sitting here. I mean, I guess I kind of did want to cry, just more of like being embarrassed, not so much that it hurt. I just sat there and took it, and then that was it. And I remember growing up and always being like, that's that kid that freaking hit me in 3rd grade. That's the end of that story, but just a little side note. That was elementary school. I knew him through middle school and high school, and then one time in college, I was staying with one of my buddies. They had a roommate, and that's too much of a tangent. That's a whole nother story. Long story short, I saw that kid again, and we actually ended up becoming like best friends. And I remember bringing that up to him, and I'll be like, hey dude, you know you hit me in 3rd grade? And he was like, oh dude, I hit a lot of kids back in the day, so I don't even know if I did. My bad. I forgave him, but I never forgot. Well, I mean, maybe I did forget. I mean, he hit me pretty hard, so this next one was, I guess, more of a confrontation than a hit, but I think it still counts. It kind of goes under the fight category, so I'm gonna tell it anyways. We'll call this one just standing up to a bully. In 5th grade, same school, there used to be this kid, and he would just, for whatever reason, he was just one of those kids that would just mess with everybody, and him and his friends, and he would always pick on one of my buddies, like all the time. He always had something smart to say, and I would get so mad, dude. And I don't, again, like where are all these teachers at, dude? And I've never been a confrontational person, but I remember he just kept talking and talking. Eventually, I just got so fed up, and I remember I turned around, and I was like, dude, stop. Like, yo, like, dude, like, for real, stop, man. Like, what's your problem? Like, just leave him alone. He's not doing anything. My buddy's super quiet, or he never did anything to deserve, nobody deserves that, but a super quiet kid. And he was like, oh, like what, you're gonna do this and that, whatever. And I was like, yeah, if it's gonna make you stop. And he was like, all right, well then later on today at recess, we'll be outside, and we'll duke it out. And I was like, okay, I'm ready. And I was ready. I was scared, obviously, but I was like, I don't want him to, I want him to stop picking on my friend. And I remember my dad would always be like, no te dejes, mijo, you know what I mean? Even if you're gonna get your ass beat, it's better to do it. I think it's always better to at least put up a fight, because at least he would know that if he's gonna keep on doing that stuff, at least I'm gonna give him at least a little bit of a fight or a resistance to it to hopefully make him stop or something. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I just felt like I had to do something. The kid was way bigger than me and everything, but I was like, whatever. So I remember we went outside and it was recess, and I was like, the whole day I was like, oh dude, like I was super scared, shaking. And recess comes, and then I'm looking for this kid, and I see him playing with like his 2-3 other friends, and they're just like chasing each other. And I was like, what the heck, man? Like I thought we were gonna have a fight.
I thought we had a fight going on here.
So I start yelling at him. Then they come to me, and then he's like all up in my face, and he's like saying all this stuff, and I'm just standing there and just taking it. And I'm like, okay, as soon as he puts his hands on me, I'm gonna start swinging, you know, because if the teachers say anything, or you know, they're gonna question us later, they're gonna say, well, who started it? In my mind, it was like, if he puts his hands on me first, then I'm defending myself, right? Then I don't want to be the one technically starting stuff. And I remember him just like talking all this garbage, all this trash, and like a bunch of kids like gathering around us, or at least behind him. And I feel like I remember even seeing the moderators or the teacher, whatever, and they were just like there. Maybe they thought we were just playing, I don't know. And I was just there, and I was just like, oh, just do something. Like, ooh. It went on for like a good while. It felt like hours just getting yelled at, and then eventually like the bell just rang, or the period ended, and everybody just ran off, and then like he just like left, and I was like that was nothing happened. And then I was also like, yo, what happened to all my other friends? Nobody backed me up, not even my buddy that I was standing up to him, which I mean, that's fine, but all my other friends, I remember them. I thought I remembered mentioning it to them to be like, hey, this is gonna go down, like you got my back. And then and nobody had my back. I don't think, if they did, I sure as hell don't remember. Nobody was behind me. I just remember it was just him and all his friends. The teasing did kind of stop after that point. Every now and then he'd say something, but it did stop a lot. At least I think it did. I guess we probably should have told the teacher about it. Oh well, sorry. I guess that one I didn't get hit, but I stood up for myself, or I stood up for my buddy. Maybe that story was a little underwhelming, sorry. Now, I guess the last story, I probably won't get into too details. This was in high school. I was like 14. This one was actually a little bit more serious. It's pretty complicated, I guess. I don't want to go into too much detail. It was more of I guess like kind of getting jumped or mugged or, you know, robbed. If I ever do talk about that, that'll probably be its own video. It was actually pretty traumatizing, not gonna lie. This story, I'll call it a serious altercation.
Are you gonna hand it over or not? Don't you backsash me!
So skipping details, everybody was okay. It's fine. It happened, whatever. Everybody that was involved was okay. But I do remember getting hit, and like, this was like by an actual grown ass man, an adult. I remember just getting rocked and seeing stars, like freaking Looney Tunes, dude. And I was like, this one was like for real, like a straight up hit. Like, oh, he was a grown man. And I remember I was just like, what is going on? Fast forward, a bunch of other stuff happens, and then I remember running after the guy. I don't know why I ran up to him. I don't know what I was gonna do. He was running away, and whatever, I chased after him. I was gonna do something, I don't know. Point is, I remember chasing after them, caught up to him. He noticed that I caught up to him, and he just turned around and just fucking rocked the out of me, like super hard. And that one, I remember I saw stars again, and they ran off, and I remember I was just like, right. And then I just started walking back, heading to my house, and I just felt like warm, like warm water all in my face, and he got me right here. He just like ripped my eyebrow, and I just bunch of blood just coming out. And then I remember my brother was like, hey man, oh dude, you're bleeding. I'm like, I'm okay. Or I was just like, oh really, dang, that sucks. Later on, I got in an ambulance, and the dudes were cleaning me up, and they were like, all right man, well, if you wake up tomorrow and you have like blurred vision, you're gonna have to go to the doctor. And I'm like, dude, every day I wake up with blurred vision. I have terrible vision. I need glasses. Yeah, and the next day I woke up and my eye, dude, super big. Yeah, at the time I was like, whatever. It wasn't until like a little bit later when I got older, and I was like, you know what? I think that was actually pretty messed up. You know, sometimes you just gotta laugh at your problems, because if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Yeah, pretty traumatizing. Sorry. I guess that's it. I have yet to get punched in the face since then, I think. And I hope that was the last time, because like I said, getting punched in the face sucks. Or just getting punched in general sucks, obviously. Again, I don't condone to violence. If you guys are having trouble with bullies and stuff, always talk to an adult or a teacher. You know, sometimes the people that are bullies, it does seem like it's the problem, but sometimes it's the symptom of a deeper problem. So maybe those kids, maybe your bully needs some help, and you know, fighting violence with violence always brings more violence. So sometimes it's better not to, you know, fuel the flame. I don't know. Don't listen to me. Don't follow my advice. But yeah, I guess I got a really punchable face. I kind of was an annoying kid growing up, but I mean, that doesn't give people a right to, like, you know, hit you just because you're annoying. You're a kid. All kids are annoying. I guess that's it. Those were the stories growing up. I'm probably not gonna say anymore, but yeah, if you guys have any crazy childhood stories that you'd like to share and feel comfortable sharing, let me know in the comments below. And if you've never been punched in the face, then you're lucky. Keep it up. That's it. Bye guys.